Welcome to Shul.com. We are back learning Ta'ameh HaMinhagim, and we are on Inyanei Chanukah. And so we're talking all about, this book has just all different ideas about Chanukah and interesting questions and answers. Like I'll show you right now. Ta'am Shemadlikin B'Chanukah Lamed Vav Nerot. Why do we have 36 total? So 36 is if you take 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, not the Shamash. Keneged Lamed Vav Sha'ot, the 36 hours, Sheshimesh Ora Ganuz, the Adam Harishon Kodem Shenignaz. So for 36 hours, he had a special light, Adam Harishon, before God took it away. Let's take a look. How was it 36 hours? It was 12 hours on Friday and 24 hours of Shabbat, and then it was removed from him. He taken on. That's brought down by the Rokeach. Otam Neged Lamed Vav Masechtot Shebatorah Shebe'al Peh HaMefureshet. 36 of the candles are Keneged the 36 Masechtot that we have in the Shas, in the Gemara. This is on the Babli. Umizeh titbonen godel ha'isur ha'pegam ha'na'asa b'nefesh. You could see the value of what kind of isur goes onto the soul. Misho oseh chas v'shalom bischok ha'kartin b'gimatria satan. He says, and now you can understand the difficult and the big sin of those who plays with the kartin. What's kartin? Carts. He's spelling it kartin, which is gimatria satan. Interesting. Kartin satan. The way he spells it. Asher himtzia haklipa b'imei shlitat yevanim. He says, when did these playing cards come around originally? Who was the father of this? It was the Greeks. Lamed vav klapim. That's why there's 36. How many cards are there in the deck? There's more than 36. There's 54, no? Or 52 if you take it. 2. So, and then they have the jokers, the 2. But, so here he has 30, there was 36. Maybe it wasn't all the signs, because if you take an ace I guess maybe if you remove one of them, he said there was 36. Zeh l'umat zeh. So he said these lights were to take out these cards, which started off gambling, playing cards, and it created this whole new society of people. Shiratzu lebatel alideze Torah. They wanted to have 36 cards to take away the 36 masechtot. That was what they were doing. And they wanted all the knowledge of other worldly things to come in. Okay, the Yehudim Aita Ora Zot Torah, and that's what it says Ora is Torah, and it says Bnei Sachar. So let's take a look. He has notes on the bottom. Katava Levush. סימן תר"ש עין ג' סעיף ד' אין מחויבים להחליף בכל לילה פתילות חדשות אלא מותר להדליק בפתילה אחת כמה לילות עד שתכלה. Every night when you light with the wicks and the oil, you don't have to change the wicks. You could use the same exact wicks. And I read today from Rav Musafi that you should not put water in the oil, just oil. Because some people have but some people have a custom of putting, if they do it themselves. I know that you sometimes maybe will buy that. Yes, so we're not talking about Shabbat. Here we're talking about on Chanukah, not to put water. She'en bahem bizayon mitzvah. And he says here, when you're reusing the petilot, it's not a bizayon. It's nice that you're reusing it. The adraba, hem nochim lahadlik yoter kashem modlikin bar. What is he saying here? That if it already was lit once, the wick, and it's soaked in oil, it usually will light easier. You don't have to worry about having to switch it until the disintegrates. The Kolbo says no. There's a custom to change every night to have a fresh set of wicks. You put new oil, put fresh wicks. Because every single night the miracle was a new miracle. So therefore use new petilot. Another reason to have new petilot. Zecher lamigdash. Shayu mechadeshim oto belayla el menat hamaor ayin shan. Menat hamaor ayin shan. So what he says is that every night in the Bet Hamikdash they changed the wicks. That was part of the job. So it will only be pertinent if you're going to repeat it again to do it again. So you have two opinions. You could do any one that speaks to you. They're both good. Okay. He says. בחנוכה למד רב נרות עיין שערי תשובה סימן תר"ש עין ג' סעיף קטן י"ג בשם בעל חסד לאברהם דקליפי ביצים ובצלים אין מדליקים בהם. That if you have leftovers from the eggs or from onions, don't use them to light petilot, or maybe some part of the candles. ובספר אורחות חיים שם כתב בשם שוט מור ואהלות תאסור להדליק בתפוחי אדמה. You can't light with potatoes or anything of a potato. דדמה לקליפי בסלים וביצים.
Onions and eggs.
Yes, it says here, a person should not use eggs, he should not use onions, and he should not use potatoes at all when does it. I'm not sure.
Wait, is it because of Mekavim Tuma?
We're going to see right now. Let's see if he says. Even if there's a little bit of the food left. It's not a hidur mitzvah if you use leftover. I guess with the eggs, what they could probably maybe he's talking about is the shell, because there are shells of eggs. It talks about in the Mishnah and Shabbat where they took an ostrich egg, and the egg of the ostrich you can actually light a flame in it and use it. He's saying don't use leftover eggs. Don't use maybe an onion, maybe using an onion and cutting it out and putting oil, maybe that allows it to light, or even a potato. I know potato does. It will be flammable if you put oil inside and like a little wick, but it's not hidur mitzvah. He says don't do it. Bizui ochlim. He says also it's embarrassing using old food for this. Kivan she'en ha-mitzvah ketikuna. It's not the way. She'enu mikre keli le'inyan zeh. It's not called a keli because when you light with the Hanukkah, your Hanukkah has to be a keli. You're not supposed to just take candles and like heat the bottom and put them onto a table. You're actually supposed to put it into a vessel that holds each one. גם כן, לא נכון לדבר במה שיש כמה אנשים שמדליקים בנרות של שעווה ואינם מעמידים אותם בתוך כלי. It says right here, like they take wax candles and they just put them onto a table instead of into a vessel. רק מדליקים אותו בכותל, or even into the wall. הלא עיקר הנס היה על ידי כלי, because the miracle was with a כלי עיין שם. בסידור האריזל כתב בשם ריבש, לומר זין פעמים והינועם יושב בסתר אחר הדלקת נרות. So he says after hadaka you should say 7 times vihinoam, which is Perek Sadi in Tehillim, and then you go to Sadi Aleph. He writes here in the Shem Arizal now that Rav Musafi said that he noticed when people would say it 7 times, they wouldn't have kavanah. And this is not a requirement. So he said, Tov me'at be'kavanah b'harbe be'lo kavanah. So what did he say? He said, say vihinoam 7 times, and then say Yosheb Beseted 1 time in Hebrew, slowly, word by word. Read it in English if you need to know. Maybe read the Mefarshim and do it 1 time with kavanah, then 7 times just rushing, saying it, not even knowing what you're saying. And he concluded from the class that I heard that it was better to say it 1 time, the Yosheb Beseted with kavanah, with a bang, as opposed to 7 times where you don't even remember what you're saying. And I see people counting and they're going and they don't even, it's just not even being focused on that. Also, during a Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, he would also do V'inam and Yosheb Beseted 7 times. B'chol et tzara shelo tavo ad kan. And anytime anyone has any problem, a sigula is to say V'inam and Yosheb Beseted 7 times. And it's a sigula for protection. Vayin tashbetz siman resh nun chet shekatav shekohanei chashmonai ubanav, that the kohanim, the chashmonaim, hayu holchim lamilchama, they would go to battle. V'amru zayin pe'amim v'inam, and ubet pe'amim o nechamim asbe'u v'nitzchu. So what was one of the tactics they did when they would go to war? Saying 7 times V'inoam, followed by 2 times Orech Yamim Asbi'eu. And they would say that both times, and they won. Interesting. Okay, now he's talking about the cards. כתב בספר יסוד התשובה, פרק י"ח בזה לשון, הדברים האלה הם תוכחת מגולה להימנע המכוער בכמה מדינות שוחקים bekartin, klapim. He says that it's not a good thing to have to play with cards. Behanukkah ubepurim, on these 2 holidays, or any time for that matter. שנקבעים להודות ולהלל הקדוש ברוך הוא על הניסים והתשועות שעשה לנו בימים ההם, ולא להיות חס ושלום ככופר בעיקר באותם ימים לאותם בשאר ימים. So you should put your focus in thanking Hashem on those days, in every way. Everyone has a personal prayer of thanks you want to make Hashem. On those days you do it. By the way, we don't say Hallel with the Beracha like we do on Hanukkah any other time of the year. We have it 8 days back to back like that. It's with the Beracha, with Sefer Torah every day. והמנהג הרע הזה יצא על כי כמה דורות שלפנינו אשר הראשים ופרנסי קהילות אסרו חוק זה בחרם. What happened? They had this bad custom of playing cards, and the heads of the towns, the leaders, and the parnasei kehilot, maybe like the presidents, they banned this game with cherem, of playing cards. Ki avur ze batlu harbe milasok b'yeshivot shel olam. Because what happened? People became gamblers, and they wouldn't go to work. They would sit and gamble for hours a day instead of doing anything productive.
Break up their families.
Yeah, ובשאר טעמים שהיו להם, and other reasons. וחשוב פן, מרוב ההרגל לא יוכלו להתאפק ויעברו חס ושלום על החרם בסתר. And he says, because of the commonness, מרוב הרגל לא יוכלו להתאפק, they couldn't hold it, and they were worried that they were going to play cards and have the חרם. So what they do, והיה תנאי מפורש שהימים נסכים אינם בכלל החרם, וזה ישקיטו יצרם הרב, ועליהם לעולם מעוטדים לכל האנשים אשר קטלצים מאנשים בהם, כמו משחקים בשאר ימות השנה. He says, they had a chedem on this, but it seems that they realized people were not going to hold by it. That's what it seems like. וחושבים פן מרוב ההרגל, לא יוכלו להתאפק ויעברו חס ושלום על החרם בסתר, והיה תנאי מפורש שהימים הנזכרים אינם בכלל החרם, and so seemingly, I guess the cherem went away, but it's still, he says, it's not a positive thing to do. בספר לב דוד, פרק כ"ח כתב, ישכיל האדם בימי חנוכה אשר קיבלנו ניסים נפלאות אשר הגדיל השם לעשות עמנו, ויצאנו מכף צר, God saved us, אנטיוכוס ושריו, בקריס וניקנור, והיו לנס כמפורסם, יחבים אנו להודות לאלוהינו מרחם. We have to have a lot of thanks to God who had mercy on us. ולא להוציא הימים הקדושים האלה בשחוק, and to use these days just for games, בקלות ראש, and to just, be silly, ומשתאות של רשות, and a bunch of party after party, ולדרוש אל המתים, and to go to גאול הקרטין. He says to play cards, ולהפסיד ממון, in order to lose money, ולפרוק all Torah mitzvot. So I guess he would say, based on this, that dreidels for money would also probably be a part. ולא זכרו אם יש תורה בעולם, and they don't learn at all. Oy lahem ki gamlu lenafsham ra'ah. They did only problems to themselves. Ki tachat asher hitzilanu ve'asad lanu nisim niflaot. God did so many miracles for us. What you should do is read the story, understand what he's saying, and take that into your own life. Take it that just like God did miracles back then, he's doing the same miracles for us today in a different form. La'abed hayamim ha'elu b'sha'at nefesh b'dvar shemachasim bo yitbarach. Don't waste your time playing cards. I guess when he wrote this, he's spending a lot of time, so I'm assuming that it seemingly was a real problem. I mean, it is a problem today too, but you see that this was an issue.
That was before the internet.
It was way before. I think if they were around today, they would never believe.
You got loan sharks, you have mafia involved, people like families got broken up.
And it's addictive. It's addictive, and listen, why get involved? It's like a man where the king did a lot of favor, and at the time that he's doing him a favor and doing good for him, he's making the king mad. If the original people, they would make meals on the holiday, they would spend the meals that they would do on Hanukkah singing to God, praising God. So they used the food as a medium to get closer to God, or the drinks. כי כל שולחנות מלאו יראת השם ושמחת הניסים הנפלאות ובהם יצאו זה היום עשה השם להגיד לצלחה בו. אוקיי. בשם הרב הצדיק הקדוש, מורנו הרב נחום משטופן נשט זצ"ל, שבימי חנוכה בא פעם אחת פתאום אל בית מדרשו. One time on Hanukkah he came suddenly into his בית מדרש, והנה איזה אנשים יושבים ומשחקים במשחק הדהם. What's hadam? Which game is that? Okay, so he came one time and he saw them playing this game Hadaham. וכאשר ראו כי ריבם ניצב עליהם, that there was so many people, נתבהלו מאוד. When they saw כאשר ראו כי רבם ניצב עליהם, he came in and they were playing. So I guess he creeped up and was just watching on top of them, and when they was on top, נתבהלו מאוד, they became, startled. ופתח הוא את דברות קודשו וענה ואמר, הידעתם את כללי משחק הדהם? So he asked them, you guys know how to play this game, Hadaham? V'shatku. And they all stayed silent. He was asking them, Amar lehem, ani agid lachem et haklalim mehadadaham. He says, I'll give you all the rules of this game if you really want to know. Man git inis kedei man zal ha'afen sevui. This is Yiddish, I guess. Kayin sevui gant mit in mahal tar man nit gayin. And none of us speak Yiddish, so we don't understand. On man git nar lemala nit lemata on az man komt shavin arruft gait man shavin vai man vil. All right, I guess he threw in some Yiddish. We didn't get it. We'll say one more part, and then we will end it for today. Ta'am she'achshav anu madlikin ner Chanukah bifnim. Why do we light the Chanukiah inside? Ki hine achshav be'ekvot Mashiach. At the end of time, where it's close to the Mashiach, chutzpah yizgeh. People are going to be arrogant and answer back, and there's going to be no shame. V'rasha'im asher bekirbenu hem yoshrim hem hamitkaberim al chokhmat haTorah v'lomdeha. And the wicked people are the ones that are the ones who are controlling the knowledge of the Torah and of the learners. V'hine madlikin bifnim lebatel kochan v'chokhmatam. And so we light inside in order to be mevatel and to annul their power and their knowledge and the strength of those that are subduing the true learners of Torah. So we do it inside. And Rav Musafi, they asked him this question. Tomorrow I'm probably going to go through in the morning, Belina did Q&As that they asked Rabbi Musafi in Chanukah. Really good Q&As. I love doing it because you go through it, you see it. They asked him this question. He said, light outside or inside? He said, no, you should light inside the house. They even asked him, by the window or by the door? He said, by the door. He said, have the mezuzah on one side and do it on the opposite side of the door. He said that inside, as opposed to even the window. That was the question on Doresh Zion. We're going to go more into it tomorrow. But it's interesting because I've lit outside in Brooklyn. I've had a little box to do it outside, which was really nice. I've done in the window, which was the normal custom that we just learned in school. But as we get older, we learn more halachot and details. And we see now from Rav Musafi that lighting inside is the right place, especially for Chinuch HaBayit. We'll do one more piece. Tam she'anashim hayavot b'nei Chanukah. What about women? Do women need to do this part of the holiday, or are they absolved? So he said, no, there are chayavot. They have to, afal pi shehi mitzvah shazman germa, even though it's a mitzvah, that it's time pertinent. So seemingly she should have a pass on it, but she doesn't. Kevan shayu be'oto nes. She was part of it with the story of the daughter of the Chashmonaim, the sister of the Chashmonaim, and then you also have Yehudit. So you have two ladies in the story. So the Greeks had a custom that every single virgin girl that was going to get married had to go first to the governor before she went home. And the daughter, the Bat Yohanan Kohen Gadol, his daughter, cut the head off of the Oyev and ended up bringing it home. He has a known about Musefet, Klal Kufnun Dalet Katav Sha'achilato Tabshile Givina. She fed him a lot of cheeses. Kedeh Shitzma, so he should get thirsty. It was a salty cheese. Vishtaked min hayain v'yeshin v'yarden, and then give him a little cheese, a little bit of wine, and he'll get tired and sleep. V'chatcha rosho, and she cut his head off. V'heviato l'Yerushalayim, and she brought the head to Yerushalayim. V'ra'ut sadet seba'am kimet malkam, when they saw that their king was killed. V'yanusu, they ran away. Lefi shehanis na'asa ledet tafshilei chalav. So it came with a byproduct of chalab, of milk. So there's a custom to have some dairy. If a person is not lactose intolerant, then go for it. If he has no issue, eat it. And for the memory, to remember the miracle that it came through halab. Interesting. I saw this just yesterday, that it wasn't that every single betula girl slept with the hagmon. That was their rule, but it's not that he actually slept. What I saw was that every night this governor wanted to sleep with different women. So what they would do is any bride would come to him and he would choose. So there could be from like 10 different nationalities, there could be 100 on that night. I don't know how many weddings there were, whatever it was, if there was 100 weddings or whatever, and then he would choose. So it wasn't every single girl. That's what I saw, one opinion. I don't know, again, I don't know if it's fact, or I don't know if it was every girl, but it was enough that when it came to the family of the Hashmonaim, she went out, the Bat Yochanan Kohen Gadol, and she ended up killing him. We'll end it with this. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.